Most entrepreneurs are secretly hoping for an overnight success story. We want that one viral post, the one podcast episode that blows up, the one launch that sells out instantly. And I get it, because we've all been told these stories. We see someone pop up on Instagram or YouTube and it looks like they went from nothing to millions in just a few months. But here's the truth. Overnight success is a lie. This is Superbloom Coach, the podcast for ambitious women ready to 10x their business and their life. I'm your host, Mariah Riona, award-winning luxury brand designer and certified life coach. And every week, I'll be here as your Superbloom coach, helping you ditch the limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck, small, and broke. We'll dive deep into the mindset, marketing, and strategy that actually moves the needle. Plus, have candid conversations with powerhouse women entrepreneurs who are blooming big in their own businesses. If you're ready to grow, you're in the right place. What is real is consistency. Doing the hard thing every single day. Showing up when it's inconvenient, when it's boring, and when nobody's clapping for you. And I didn't just learn that in business, I learned it in one of the hardest mindset challenges I have ever done in my life. 75 Hard. Now, if you've never heard of 75 Hard, let me give you the quick version. It's 75 days straight of following 5 rules. No exceptions, no excuses. 2 workouts a day, one of them outdoors. Drink a gallon of water every day. Follow a diet of your choice, no cheat meals, and no alcohol. Read 10 pages of a personal development book and take a daily progress photo. That's it. It sounds simple, but let me tell you, it is hard because you don't get to skip a day. You don't get to make it up later. If you miss something, you start all the way back at day 1. Quick side note, 75 Hard was actually created by Andy Frisella. He designed it as a mental toughness challenge, not a fitness program. I'll link his book and the podcast episode where he breaks it all down in the show notes, so you can check it out for yourself. I've completed 75 Hard 3 times now, and each time has completely transformed me, not just personally, but as an entrepreneur, as a coach, and as a leader. And that's what I want to share with you today, because this month inside of Superbloom Coach Society, our theme is leadership and visibility. And when I was preparing our training for the month, I realized 75 Hard is the perfect example of how we build leadership, visibility, and mental toughness. So in this episode, I'm going to share my story of completing the 75 Hard challenge, not once, but 3 times. What I learned, how it made me a better entrepreneur, and how you can use these same lessons to step into your next level of business and your life. But before we get into that, let's start with the beginning, with why I even started this crazy challenge in the first place. So let's rewind to how this all started. It was right after the COVID lockdowns had begun. My husband was deployed to the Middle East and I was home alone with our 2-year-old. Like so many of you, my life felt completely out of control. The world was uncertain. Everything was shut down. I was juggling motherhood, my business, and the stress of not even knowing what the next day would bring. And in the middle of all that chaos, I found myself on YouTube one night watching a channel called Hopescope. She had done this thing called 75 Hard and shared how she had lost 18 pounds from it. And honestly, that's what first drew me in. I thought maybe I'll do this to lose some weight too. But deep down, I think what really hooked me was the sense of structure. The idea that I could have something solid to hold on to in the middle of so much uncertainty. Something that would give me focus when everything else felt so dark and out of control. So I wish I could say that I jumped in right away, but just about a week before lockdown, I was actually rear-ended by a drunk driver. The accident left me with a pretty bad shoulder injury, and I had to spend several months in physical therapy. It would have been easy to use that as my excuse to tell myself, well, I guess I just can't do this challenge. But instead, I told myself as soon as my physical therapist gives me the green light, I'm starting day one. And that's exactly what I did. But I had no idea what I was getting myself into. 75 hard, round one, proving it to myself. The first time I did 75 hard, I didn't lose a single pound. Not one, but I did gain muscle and something even more powerful. I learned how to keep my word to myself. I learned that no matter what kind of mood I was in, no matter how busy I was, no matter how many excuses I could come up with, I could show up and do the work anyway. It was about completing the tasks even when I didn't want to. And believe me, most days I really didn't want to. And that was the first big shift for me. But it wasn't just about grit and discipline. Something deeper happened too. By the end of those 75 days, I felt a spiritual shift. And honestly, it's hard to put into words, but I just felt more aligned, more in flow, and more open to possibility. I could really see the power of discipline that is practiced in so many spiritual traditions. That first round showed me what was possible when I stopped negotiating with myself. Now, don't think it was easy. It was hard. That's literally in the name. There were plenty of days I almost talked myself out of it. I remember one day I was just exhausted. I did not want to do my second workout. I kept sighing and complaining, don't want to work out. And my husband, who had recently come home from deployment, looked at me and said, then don't, just quit. And something ignited in me. I thought, quit? After all this work? After everything I've done so far? No way, I have come too far to give this up. That moment taught me something huge. Quitting is always an option. It's always right there on the table. But when you choose not to, when you decide to keep going, that's when you build self-trust. That is when you become unstoppable. There was another time when I actually got sick with a bad head cold for several days, and I still kept going. I didn't let it be my excuse. I realized I was capable of so much more than I had ever given myself credit for. And that was round one. And even though I didn't lose weight, it completely transformed me. 75 hard, round two, the external results. I did 75 hard for the second time in 2022, and that's when I finally started to see the physical results. I lost 18 pounds. I started building real muscle, and yes, that was definitely exciting. But here's the difference. This time, I wasn't just repeating what I did before. I committed to a different diet and a different exercise program, and that completely changed the outcome for me. But here's what mattered even more than losing the weight. I was stacking the mental toughness I had already built. I already knew I could do this. I had already proven it to myself. So this round felt like leveling up, reinforcing the lessons, pushing myself further, and deepening that sense of alignment and self-belief. And I noticed how it was starting to show up in my business. I wasn't just following through on workouts and water and books. I was showing up more consistently for my brand, my sales, and my content. The way I treated myself inside the challenge was teaching me how to treat my business too. Hold up, before we go any further, I need to let you in on something. If you're loving this episode, you have to check out Superbloom Coach Society, because this podcast, it's just the beginning. SCS is the coaching community built for listeners of this show. It's where we take everything you're learning here and go 10 times deeper with live coaching from me, monthly trainings, and the exact mindset and marketing tools to help you scale. Inside, you'll finally have a blueprint, a clear, strategic path to grow your business with intention, instead of chasing every trend or second-guessing your next move. Each month, we focus on one powerful topic, from offers and visibility to money mindset and client attraction, so you can build real momentum and see results that last. And you won't be doing it alone. You'll be surrounded by a community of driven, like-minded women who are all building businesses that align with their highest vision. Head to mariahriona.com/society and let's make this your Superbloom year. 75 hard, round 3, sharing it publicly. By the third time I did 75 Hard in 2023, something had shifted again. This time, I decided to share my journey publicly on social media. And that was a game changer, because here's the thing, I wasn't afraid of messing up anymore. I had already proven to myself twice that I could do it. So I thought, if I have to restart, fine, that'll just be part of my story. And that perspective freed me. I stopped worrying about looking perfect online. I stopped trying to show up as this polished, put together version of myself all the time. And I started showing up as the real me. And the response was incredible. People were curious. They wanted to know how it worked, what I was doing, how much weight I'd lost. But more than that, they were cheering me on. They were inspired. It wasn't about me being perfect. It was about me being real, doing something hard, and letting people watch me through the process. And that changed the way I showed up in my business too, because visibility as a leader isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity. It's about letting people see you do the hard thing and realizing that maybe, just maybe, they could do it too. So here's what these 3 rounds of 75 Hard taught me. It's not about weight loss. It's about identity. It's not about overnight results. It's about daily discipline. And it's not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about proving it to yourself. Each round taught me something new. The first round showed me that I was capable of so much more than I believed. The second round showed me that consistent effort compounds into visible results. And the third round showed me that sharing my journey can inspire and impact others, even more than I realized. And here's the thing. Inside the new challenge I'm hosting for Superbloom Coach Society, I'm actually going to break down exactly what I did in each round. How I went from not losing a pound in round 1 to losing 18 pounds and building muscle in round 2 and again in round 3. And the tweaks I made that made all the difference. Here's the thing about 75 Hard. It isn't really about the workouts or the water. It's about mental toughness. It's about training your brain to stop taking the easy way out. And entrepreneurship, it's the exact same thing. Here's the truth. The person who can finish 75 Hard is the same person who can build a 6, 7, or 8-figure business, because both require the same skill, doing the hard thing when it would be easier to quit. It's about consistency over perfection. When I first started my business, I thought success would come from doing everything perfectly. The perfect logo, the perfect website, the perfect launch. But perfection doesn't build businesses. Consistency does. And 75 Hard taught me that, because trust me, there were plenty of days when my workouts weren't perfect. I wasn't hitting personal records every session. Some days I was just walking outside in the cold and checking the box, but I showed up. I did it anyway. And that's the exact same thing that builds momentum in business. Not the one perfect post or the one flawless launch, but the consistent, imperfect daily actions. So stop waiting to do things perfectly. Start doing them consistently. Choose the hard thing on purpose. Every day in 75 Hard, I heard that little voice in my head. You're tired, you deserve a break, just skip today. And honestly, that same voice shows up in business all the time. Don't send the email, you don't have to go live, don't pitch yourself, just binge Netflix instead. But the challenge taught me to recognize that voice for what it was. It's my brain trying to guide me toward comfort. And then I learned to override and choose the hard thing instead. That's how I've built my business, by choosing the uncomfortable actions, raising my prices, showing up on camera, investing tens of thousands of dollars into coaching to up-level my mindset, and taking the bold action before I felt ready. And every time I chose the hard thing, I grew. So here's the truth. Comfort won't grow you. Courage will. One more powerful lesson from 75 Hard is this: when you keep your word to yourself, you build self-trust. And as entrepreneurs, self-trust is leadership. You can't expect clients or team members to trust you if you don't trust yourself first. I remember when I first started hiring help in my business, I felt so vulnerable to bring people into my vision, to delegate things that mattered. But the only reason I could do it was because I trusted me. I trusted that I would show up, that I wouldn't quit when it got hard, and that I would figure it out. That's exactly the kind of self-trust 75 Hard builds. When you finish something that 99% of people would quit, you start believing in yourself on a whole new level. And that belief, that's what makes you a leader. Let's talk about visibility, because this is such a big part of leadership. And it's our theme this month inside of Superbloom Coach Society. When I did 75 Hard the third time and I shared it publicly, I noticed something shift. I wasn't worried about being perfect anymore. I had already proven to myself that I could do it. So if I had to restart, I didn't see it as failure. I saw it as just a part of my story. And that gave me the freedom to show up more authentically online. The same thing applies in business. The more authentic I became, sharing the real, behind the scenes, the hard stuff, the imperfect moments, the more people connected with me. People don't want a perfect leader. They want a real leader, and they want to see someone doing the hard things so they believe they can do it too. Visibility is not about perfection, it's about authenticity. Another parallel between 75 Hard and entrepreneurship I noticed is that success doesn't happen in one big leap. It happens in small daily actions that compound over time. Reading 10 pages a day doesn't feel life-changing. Drinking water doesn't feel monumental. But stack those habits for 75 days straight, you're a completely different person. Business works the exact same way. One post won't change your business. One email won't book you out. One launch won't make you a millionaire. But stacking those actions day after day, that's how you build momentum that feels unstoppable. So don't underestimate the power of small, consistent action. Now, here's why I wanted to share all of this with you, because 75 Hard isn't just a challenge. It's a mirror for entrepreneurship. It teaches you consistency. It teaches you courage. It teaches you self-trust. It teaches you mental toughness and resiliency. And it teaches you that the hard things are what mold you into your next level self. If you only remember one thing from my story, let it be this: you are capable of so much more than you think, but you'll never find out if you keep choosing comfort over courage. Every hard thing you choose shapes you into the leader, the entrepreneur, and the woman you were meant to be. So hit that like button or comment, "I'm choosing hard," if you're ready to join me and step into the next level version of yourself. Success in life, in business, in leadership doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's hard. And yes, that's uncomfortable. That's the whole point. If it were easy, it wouldn't change you. That's why 75 Hard has been so transformative for me. Not because of the workouts, not because of the alcohol break, and honestly, not even because of the books, but because every single day I had to choose, am I going to take the easy way out, or am I going to show up for myself? And the truth is, that's the exact same choice you have as an entrepreneur every single day. Are you going to let fear, doubt, and excuses run the show? Or are you going to choose the hard thing, the thing that builds discipline, self-trust, and true leadership? Hit that like button or comment, "I'm choosing hard." Because here's what I know. You are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. Most of us will go through life never even realizing our full potential. And that, to me, is the real tragedy. But you don't have to be one of those people. You can find out what you're really capable of. You can prove it to yourself. You can become the kind of leader who doesn't just talk about possibility, but embodies it. So if you're still listening to this and thinking, I need this, I want to see what I'm capable of too. I want to finally stop waiting for things to be easy and start becoming the kind of entrepreneur who does hard things. Then now is your time. Don't wait until the perfect time. Don't wait until life gets easier, because let me tell you, it won't. Growth doesn't happen when things are comfortable. Growth happens when you show up for yourself, when you do the hard thing, when you stop making excuses and start building the future you know you're meant for. Go to mariahriona.com/society or click the link in the description to join us now. Hey, if you loved this episode, then you have to check out my free training called Clarity to Clients. In this quick but invaluable lesson, I break down the exact shift that took me from stuck and overworked to tripling my revenue while working just 3 days a week. Head on over to my Instagram at mariahriona. The link is in the description, and DM me the word clarity. I'll send the link straight to your inbox. But before you go, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if today's conversation hit home, hit that like button, share it with a friend, or leave a quick review. It's one of the best ways to say thanks and helps me reach even more amazing entrepreneurs just like you. I'll catch you back here next week, same time, same place, with more real talk and breakthroughs on how to 10x your business and your life.